Good morning and welcome to A Closer Look. I'm your host, Linda Fontaine, and today I have the honor of having two of my friends here today, Bertina Dew, who's the Executive Director of the Kingsport Ballet, and Erica Ballard, who's an instructor and choreographer for the Kingsport Ballet. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Sure. So tell me about the Kingsport Ballet.
Gosh, well,
I know that's a pretty broad question.
Yeah. So we've been in downtown Kingsport for well over 30 years. We've had basically 3 different physical studios.
Wait, you've been doing this 30 years now?
Me personally, almost 20, but the whole Kingsport Ballet, I mean, you know, it used to be Kingsport Guild of Ballet and State of Franklin Dance Alliance. When we took over, we merged the two and created essentially just a Kingsport Ballet, which included both not-for-profit, school, and company.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and that was in 1999. So in any case, so we've been in our current facility on Cherokee and Market for 10 years now.
Wow.
And of course, our artistic director, Valeria Sinyavskaya, she's been with us since the year 2001. So, and Erica's been here, gosh, since what?
2004.
2004. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
We all get along.
Yay. Well, thank goodness for that. It makes a nice work environment.
Yeah. And of course, we have other teachers as well. We have a comprehensive, ballet school, if you will, which, in addition to ballet instruction, we offer other forms of dance. So ballet point variations, jazz, modern, tap for young children, and we also have adult classes that we like adult fitness classes too.
Oh, okay. So you have adult fitness classes. So are those by the class, or is that just for the people that are already signed up to take ballet? How does that work?
It can be by the class or by the month, but it's really targeting the community. So
okay, so anybody could go.
Anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. And
with no dancing skills whatsoever, I could just go separate.
Not at all, because Pilates, yoga, adult ballet, no body flow, no previous experience necessary. So
nice.
and right now, those are $5 per class drop-in rate. So that's you can't beat that.
Oh no, you can't.
Yeah.
I'll have to look up the schedule for that.
Please do.
I will. So Erica, how long have you been here?
Since 2004.
And tell me a little bit about what you do.
I teach ballet and modern ballet, mostly for the younger students. I start with the 3-year-olds and go up to probably the 10 to 12 range. And then I teach modern dance for all the levels that we offer.
Wow. Well, that's cool.
It was really through Erica's modern teaching that she became very prolific in her choreography with us. So
good.
For the last many years, she's been choreographing pieces for the spring concert, and then more recent, and for special occasions like Ballet and Bubbly, our yearly fundraiser, and for small outreach performances or outtake performances. So
in the smaller venues where point shoes are probably not okay to dance. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you guys put on several events a year, and you've got a couple big events coming up. Tell me about that.
So Seeds of Change is our big, usually we do a full length story ballet in the spring.
Okay.
Last year and this year, we have done Seeds of Change along with another act of another ballet. So for instance, last year it was an act from Les Sylphides, and this year it's an act from Don Quixote, the dream act from Don Quixote. So, but back to Seeds of Change, it is our centennial performance. It was created from scratch. It's an original, about 1-hour ballet, which uses a variety of dance forms. Erica choreographed the majority of it. Erica, tell us a little bit about how.
Yes.
About the choreography. It was really a conglomeration of inspirations. Bertina was telling me about the centennial celebrations, and she and I both sort of looked into the history of Kingsport and read some diaries from that time. And so I began listening to different musical pieces from the time, and then other musical pieces, and it all sort of comes from the music usually for me. So,
oh, how nice. So this is a big deal for you. Is this the first time you've done a complete, like
first
this,
time I've
original?
choreographed an original one, yes.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to see it. That's great.
you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Seeds of Change. And those are the beautiful costumes I've seen these girls walking around with when they're promoting stuff for the ballet, right? They look period pieces or something. They look beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh,
so
love it.
we actually started with, we wanted, with the choreography that Erica's talking about, like putting together these pieces of music and sort of fitting them into that time in history, 1917, and not only that time, but here in Kingsport, and what is relevant, to that time. And so initially it was kind of a challenge, because if you go back and search for the music of that time, you're talking very tinny, very, sounds like
Country fair kind of, yeah.
Country fair, yeah, country fair. And, or some like, kind of sort of the beginnings of jazz, of Southern, like old, very
Probably more gospel-y, I would think.
a little gospel-y, yeah. I think it was called the Dixieland.
If that's a word, gospel-y.
Yeah, well,
We've just created one. But yeah, that would be a challenge.
So we've actually blended some of that, which really takes you back to that time in terms of, the audio part of things. We of course had to add the visual of what we feel it would have looked like, because you can look at photos, but it's not like you're there. So so that's what we've tried to create on stage, is sort of a take you back in time and through a story as well. So so Erica, do you want to speak a little to the story?
It's one that we created. It's not true to life, but we feel like it could have been very typical of what you would have found back then. We start with a scene from childhood where you have children on their way home from school, and they're playing in a field, and there's a little girl who wants to play with another group, and they say no, and a little boy comes and says, well, play with me, and let's dance, let's get everybody to dance together. And so
good.
They do that, and they become fast friends. And then as the ballet goes, they grow up together and become more than friends. They're sweethearts.
Aww.
And then they're at something called a box dance, which we researched, which was very interesting. The ladies of the time used to make a dinner, and they would decorate a box, and they would put their dinner in the box.
Oh, neat.
And they would take it to this event, and the gentleman would look at the box and sort of auction, or choose which box they liked the best, and that would be their date for the evening, whoever had created the. So we thought that was really interesting, and so we created that, and Edwin and Ruby are our characters that grow up together. They go to this dance, and at the end of the dance, some Army recruiters come in, and they're asking for volunteers because it's 1917. It's the start of all of that, and Edwin decides that he wants to go to war. And Ruby's not sure how she feels about that. So through Edwin, you see he gets on the train to go downtown, and I actually read about soldiers of that time who'd never been out of their 1 mile radius.
Wow.
They've never been on a train. They've never
world.
worn more than their one outfit that they have or whatever.
Right.
So he gets on the train and he goes to downtown Kingsport, and we sort of put what flavor we thought that it might look like at that time. And then after he visits Kingsport, he gets transported overseas, and we do have a war scene, and it sort of juxtaposes the women at home, what they were going through and dealing with, and having moved into the factories and in the fields and all of that, and then the men at war overseas. So.
The fact is that we really, until we started deeply reading about this time period, we have greatly, as a people, have underestimated the huge societal changes that took place at that time, not just here locally, but all over the country, where so many people were living in rural areas. And once World War II came around and the men were being sent overseas, the women were essentially being urged by the government to, stay home and plant their seeds of change, to plant their victory gardens in order to survive. Do your part for the war while your man's away. Plant the seeds. And so we used that, obviously, not only for the title, but we used that as kind of really the meat and potatoes of the story, because that urbanization that happened is really what made Kingsport. So with the coming of the railroad, people came to the new city to get jobs. The husbands were going off to war.
I can't wait to see this. This is wonderful. You guys put a lot of work into this, a lot of imagination, and I can't wait. When is this show taking place?
It's just in a couple of weeks, April 13th through 15th at Eastman.
Okay, right. The Toya F. Reed Center, April 12th and 13th.
And 14th.
And 14th. Okay, my eyes are failing me. Seeds of Change, Kingsport Ballet. And if you want more information, you can call 378-3967 or go to their website.
Yes.
What's your website?
kingsportballet.org.
kingsportballet.org. Well, that sounds wonderful. I can't wait to see it. Gosh. All right, so there you go. We're going to talk more about some of the events at Kingsport Ballet in just a minute. But meanwhile, get on your website and get tickets to Seeds of Change, because it sounds like it's amazing. It's all about the centennial for Kingsport and all, too, so that's important. We got to celebrate this town. We love it. We'll be back in just a minute with more.